and welcome to another edition of the Full Force News Burst, brought to you by GeneralsJoes.com, with me as your host, Chris DiagnostikUpdatey80 McLeod, aka Diagnostik80. On this instalment of yet another interesting kind of burst, I'm joined by Justin. Stop making puns about my name and everything associated with Bell to discuss a few updates regarding the Snake Eyes movie and information coming out of the recent Bumblebee film. So without further ado, let's get stuck into this news burst. First up, we have the rather unsurprising news that Ray Park will not be returning to reprise his role in the upcoming G.I. Joe Snake Eyes movie, and that the part will be recast. Park did a fine job as the masked and silent Ninja Commando in the previous films, but it makes perfect sense to use a different actor for this upcoming reboot that will see an origin of sorts, telling the story of old Snake Lips becoming a member of the Arashikage clan. Producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura explained, "We are going to the origin story. As you know in the comic book, you saw his face, and it is, I'll say, the formation of a hero. So you've got to see somebody, and it can't be Ray's age, unfortunately." As sad as that is for fans of Park, it does make sense, and now we wait for word on who will fill that role in the coming months. So Justin, what are your thoughts on this story? Good idea to go with someone else for this film?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's necessary from a couple of different perspectives, and it's actually something we talked about quite a bit on these news bursts already, in the fact that...
Every single day.
Yeah. That, number one, I mean, I love Ray Park to death. He did a fantastic job as Snake Eyes. But, I mean, he's not somebody you necessarily build a franchise around.
Yeah.
And not only that, but as Lorenzo Di Bonaventura said, I mean, he's also, if this is a prequel, as they keep on claiming it is, then, yeah, you need somebody who's a little bit younger, a little bit fresher faced. So I think it absolutely makes sense. I think it'd be pretty awesome if they found a way to work Ray Park in there somewhere, because you never really saw Snake Eyes' face in the other films. So
he needs a cameo, doesn't he? Big time.
Exactly. Yep.
Could you see him as like one of the masters?
Sure. Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, it depends on where they're going. I mean, obviously, if they're going the full Arashikage route, he can't really, I don't know if they would have him be one of the Japanese masters or not, but I mean, he could certainly, be somebody who grooms Snake Eyes for what he is. Or what would be really awesome is actually if they actually repped in the whole Zartan history to it and maybe had him, have a cameo and that sort of role. I mean, I don't know how deep they're going to go into this whole thing.
So you want him to be the Fang helicopter pilot?
Exactly. Yep. That'd be beautiful.
You'd be sad not to see him in it in some capacity, wouldn't you, really?
It would be so easy for them to put him in there. It would be a real shame if they didn't. I gotta say that. Yeah, I mean, he's not, I'm got to assume he's not very expensive. He's probably got a pretty free schedule. And I'm not trying to besmirch Ray Park or anything. I mean, he's great. So, but, he's got some availability. So I would think that they'd be able to find a way to work him in there, and they really should.
I feel like he was the best part of the original movies. I think kind of Snake Eyes as a character, that was the one I could accept the most out of all of those movies.
Definitely. I mean, obviously, he didn't speak, he didn't really do anything like that, but just his mannerisms and kind of his martial arts skills and things like that, he certainly did, was kind of the best part of those films.
Okay, so moving on then. With the new Bumblebee movie out and no direct sign of any G.I. Joe references being reported, the director and cast have been questioned about a theory posed by Screen Rant that John Cena is playing a character linked to the Joe universe. Interestingly enough, the response from all involved has been a positive one, with Travis Knight even going as far as to say that he can neither confirm nor deny the rumour that the universes of Transformers and G.I. Joe are being combined, and that John is playing a character like Duke at the same time. John Cena was also questioned, and he responded to say, "Promote that, man. As a geek of those universes colliding, I think that is a tremendous idea. But once again, we are the lowlies. All we can do is use our voice, make this movie, and hopefully the people making the movie or fans who agree with us or disagree, if it's not me, and I'm very thankful for the kind words, I just think these two franchises have so many connections. In a world of universes colliding, I think this is a perfect match." This is good news for those fans who want to see a potential combining of the universes, and with Hasbro wanting this union to succeed, I can see a very positive outcome for this direction. Now Justin, I haven't seen the movie yet, I will hopefully be going soon, but by all accounts there are no direct references to G.I. Joe in the Bumblebee movie, apart from a no step sticker on something that Paddy mentioned. Bit of a shame that, but this news is rather more positive to suggest that we could still be heading towards that combined universe goal. Do you see this as a missed opportunity, or is it a case of Hasbro and Paramount keeping their options open, waiting on the Snake Eyes movie maybe for a clearer path?
I think you're probably right. I think they're keeping their options open, but I also do think it's a missed opportunity. Again, just like we were talking about with Ray Park, it would have cost them absolutely nothing to do this, just to have some little, I mean, they don't have to dive deep into the mythos or anything like that, but just some kind of little Easter egg or something that it would have cost them very little and it would have planted a seed. So I do think they kind of missed an opportunity there. But on the other hand, like you said, I mean, the positive response from people involved with the film has been fantastic. And the pessimist in me will just say, well, yeah, they just want to get paid for another project. But I think there's a lot of 80s love kind of within some of these folks. And people, you gotta consider a lot of these people who are making films these days, and I think it's clear just by the films that we're getting, the projects we're getting, stuff like Stranger Things on Netflix and things like that. Obviously, the creators that are more or less our peers these days all have this love for 80s mythology that we do. Maybe not quite as deep and obsessive as we do, but but they at least have a familiarity. They came home from school and watched G.I. Joe on TV just like we did, so they have that deep-rooted appreciation for those properties. So I think there's something to be said for that kind of response, and I think it would be something they'd love to have an opportunity to do.
I mean, it's currently rated 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's pretty awesome.
Rotten Tomato. I mean, that is pretty solid. I mean, did you expect such a high score? I certainly didn't. I thought it would already be dropping to about 70 or 60% at this stage.
Yeah, I know it first opened that first weekend that reviewers got a chance to look at it. It was already at 100%, and I was pretty pessimistic about that and told a couple folks that that's just kind of the deep-rooted fans and the people who don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. But so far it seems to be maintaining, which is really, really cool. I mean, I think we all got a good indication just from the trailers that there's something a little different about this film, but the fact that it's being reacted to so positively is a really, really good thing.
And one last thing on the kind of, the reaction to this movie, there's a really solid intro where you've got kind of Cybertron and a war on Cybertron happening. And Travis Knight has also gone on record recently stating that he would love to see a Transformers movie set entirely on Cybertron.
Oh yeah.
Could G.I. Joe be utilised in that capacity as well, like Star Brigade, Space Force, etc.? I mean, considering most of the film would be animated, having the Joes involved would at least allow for kind of live actor involvement. Yeah,
I mean, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know how that would work. It'd be kind of weird putting a Star Brigade thing out.
The first thing they put out.
Yeah, exactly. We have two G.I. Joe films, Snake Eyes and Star Brigade. Yeah.
No, it would be Snake Eyes and then the Manimals is what they do.
They'd have to have Snake Eyes be like infected by one of the Manimals. Like, well, they had that canceled 95 figure or whatever where Snake Eyes burst out of his chest or whatever. Yeah, that would
great.
Be
I've got to find the reference material to throw that on the screen now. So I mean that's that. I mean, I'd be down for an all-out Cybertron movie, but again, like I haven't seen the film yet, but I'm hearing great things pretty much across the board, and even Paddy's non-spoiler review for us, he was oddly positive for a change. So
and he hates everything.
I know it was a higher than average score. So yeah, I think it was about 3.5 potatoes he gave it. I might be giving away his thoughts on the movie. He can tell you himself, but are you going to be seeing it as soon as you can?
I was hoping to. I really don't know if I'm going to have a chance to. My schedule normally is hectic enough, but I've got some other real life things going on at the moment.
Whatever.
But I would love to get a chance to see it. I mean, that's one of the basically I usually reserve my movie theater time for Marvel Studios projects, but already this Christmas I really want to see Bumblebee and I really want to see Aquaman, so I don't know how I'm going to make that work. But
yeah, Aquaman has been getting good reviews too, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Okay, well, Justin, thank you for jumping on.
Sure.
Jumping on again, really appreciate it. We'll be talking again very soon about Hasbro.
Very soon, like 7 minutes.
In like less than that. That's it. Well, it depends how long it takes me to get through the intro. That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Thank you to my wonderful co-host Justin Bell. See you next time, and as always, Full Force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of these platforms with feedback, questions or to say, who do you think you are? A serious operation now? No, not even close. Look out for more of these news bursts that we are posting on the Facebook page from now on. Full Force.